G'day, and I'm going to do something a bit different here. And I've actually printed out a custom scenario, and this one is called The Culling at Barrow-Downs, and it's by a guy called Feonix on the Board Game Geek website. And he's done an absolutely fantastic job, and when I get through the cards, you'll see what I mean. It is phenomenal. I am as excited to play this as I am for Osgiliath to turn up in my mail. Anyway, this is made possible by another guy on the Board Game Geeks forums called Gekoth. Now, Gekoth is like a Photoshop whiz or something. I don't know what he does for a living, but he's obviously involved in graphics somehow. And he's made templates for all the different card types, so you can just drop in your own background images and text and you can make your own scenarios. And a lot of people are doing this, but I've never really been tempted to make my own cards from these images, even though I'm no stranger to making my own cards, because my Magic the Gathering group, we've actually designed our completely personalized sets. How there's Innistrad block is on at the moment. Well, we've designed our own blocks just for our personal use, which is quite fun. Anyway, so this is printed out on 300 card, which is probably a little too thick. I probably want to print it on a bit less than 300. And the entire deck cost me $15, which is about $5 cheaper than an official deck. But the cards are very good quality and awesome. Okay, so let's get into it. The Culling at Barrow-Downs, a Dark Fog. Setup. Search the encounter deck for all copies of fantasy names. Seriously, they're so stupid. Feydthendir. Search for all copies of Feydthendir, Barrow Blade, Song from the Old Forest, and White Lord, and set them face up out of play alongside the quest deck. So this is similar to the beginning of the Karok stage. 1B, when revealed, shuffle one copy of Barrow Blade per player into the encounter deck. Then each player reveals one card from the encounter deck and adds it to the staging area. So this is very similar to the start of the Karok. Okay, so let's have a quick look. Oh, we'll just go through all of them. Okay, 2A. When revealed, search the encounter deck until you find one copy of the White Song and resolve its When's Revealed effect. If there are no copies in the encounter deck, search the discard pile instead, then shuffle the discard pile into the encounter deck. And 2B. Action. Remove 3 progress tokens from this quest to place the Song from the Old Forest objective into the staging area. Now, if you remember from 1A, that's one of the cards that we took out of the deck and placed above out of the game. So that's the first completely unique effect that is in this game. 3A got nothing, just some awesome flavor tech, which I will leave for you to discover because it's nothing to do with the card evaluations here. And this one is when revealed, add Feydthendir. I have no idea whether that's pronounced correctly. Add Feydthendir to the staging area. Players cannot place progress tokens on this quest unless Feydthendir has a progress token on him. If players defeat this stage, they have won the game. Okay, so we can't really understand what's going on in this quest until we have a look at the other major quest cards. So let's check them out. Okay, Feydthendir is a unique creature. He has 6 willpower, 5 attack, 4 defense, and 6 health points. That is ridiculous. This is going to be hard, this quest. Very hard. Okay, let's read his quite intensely long quest text. Players cannot play attachments on Feydthendir. Feydthendir cannot attack, engage players, or receive damage while he has progress tokens on him. He still contributes his threat though. Forced. Whenever Feydthendir would be destroyed, instead place a progress token on him and move him into the staging area. After one full turn during which Theithendir has progress tokens on him, remove from him all attachments, damage, and progress tokens. Okay, so this is a very unusual card. We haven't seen anything like this inside the official cards so far. Now, the way I read this is that this guy is a wraith of some sort, so he's indestructible. You can't actually kill him. What we need to do is finish the quest, so escape from him. We can't actually kill this card. Players cannot place progress tokens on this quest unless Theithendir has a progress token on him. So we need to kill this guy, and when we kill him, he gets pushed to the staging area and gets a progress token placed on him. But we only have a single turn to quest and get some counters on our quest, because after that turn, he loses that progress token and becomes an active attacker once again. So he is very, very tough. I mean, that is quite ridiculously insane. I'm not quite sure why it has that command, remove from him all attachments, because it's also got up on the top that he can't have attachments played on him. Players cannot play attachments on Theithendir, so there might be attachments inside the encounter deck that can go on him. But yeah, so that's him. So he's a very, very deadly shade, and we have to kill him, and he comes back to life, and then we quest. Very scary. Now this is the Barrow Blade, and you'll remember, if we go to 1A again, these are also these are like the sacked cards. They're pulled out and then shuffled in per player. And this is an objective. When revealed, attach one previously set aside Wraithlord cards to the Barrow Blade guarding it. So when this comes out, instead of pulling a normal encounter card using the guard command, we actually attach it from the set-aside creature cards. Action. Claim this objective if it has no encounters attached. Then attach it to one hero you control. Treat it as an attachment with the following text. Attached hero has +1 attack and +1 defense when attacking or defending against undead. So it only works on undead, and I guess, see, we are playing with the Sauron and the Forest, which I forget the name of that is, encounter sets, so there's going to be a lot of other creatures besides spiders and orcs, I guess. So that's a pretty interesting objective. So he comes out being guarded by a vicious beast, and then when we get a very, very nice attachment reward that will aid us in fighting Theithendir. Okay, Song from the Old Forest. This is another one that we placed at the top. Spend a resource from any hero's resource pool to place a resource token on this card. Action. Spend 3 resources from this card to discard any condition from play. Well, that's very, very cool. And, I mean, it's a unique card that we haven't seen before. This is a resource-based objective that is kind of like, in a way, this is like going into everybody's hand. But instead of having copies that goes into everyone's hand, it actually sits upon the staging area. In 2B, you can remove 3 progress tokens from this quest to place the song in the staging area. It is not guarded, by the way, so you just need to do a successful quest and the song will appear and you can pull it over to your side. And then you can spend the resources to detach conditions. And the last of these cards is the White Lord, or Weight Lord. I don't know how you pronounce these things. Anyway, now you remember these are placed out of play, along with the Barrow cards. And these Barrow cards are shuffled in per player. So if you're playing with 2 players, you'll only have to face 2 Wraith Lords, even though there's 4 in this pack. And when the Barrow Blade comes to the table, it gets these guys guarding it. 2 threat, 4 attack, 2 defense, 6 damage. Again, pretty vicious, and it is worth noting that they are undead. So Forced. Whenever a character defends against the Wraith Lord, the defending character uses his willpower in place of his defense. Again, I have not seen this before in another set from the official And I just think this is an absolutely brilliant idea that you can't really defend against these things. These are horrible creatures, like sort of, they're testing your sanity, Cthulhu style, rather than your ability to fight. And just defending with your willpower, I mean, it's brilliant. Freaking love it. That's awesome. Okay, Foggy Hills. This has Surge, and it's got a type called Plains. Forced. If Foggy Hills leave play, remove all progress tokens from all Barrow locations in play. Why do Barrow locations... Oh, wait. There'd be another type of location called Barrow. Yes, there is. Okay. Shadow. Remove all progress tokens from all Barrow locations in play. Okay, so the Shadow effect and its reveal effect are pretty much the same. Oh, well, if its leave play effect is pretty much the same. So this is quite an interesting card. It's like, it gains Surge, which is bad. But apart from that, it doesn't really do much. I mean, this is a card that you would rather get onto the staging area than cast as a Shadow card. It's only one threat. I could see these stacking up and never being released. There'd be definitely more threatening things in the staging area, I would imagine, than this card. Okay, here we go. Ancient Barrow. Now this is a Barrow, so this is one of the cards that can have its progress token wiped. While Ancient Barrow is the active location, all whites, how the hell do I pronounce that? W-I-G-H-T? Wights? I want to say white, but it's not whites. I want to say waits, wraith, whatever. That thing. That's these guarding creatures that you saw before. They get +1 defense. Terrible. Luckily, it's only 2 to progress. The Gondola Standing Stones. 3 threat and 6 quest points and a victory cost of 4. Quite a powerful location. Let's have a look at its effects. It's got a lot of text here. Immune to player card effects. Okay. When revealed, the first player may choose to search the encounter deck for the first undead enemy he finds and add it to the staging area. If so, place 3 progress tokens on Gondola Standing Stones. Interesting. Again, completely unique. Response. When the players travel to Gondola Standing Stones, the first player may choose to search the encounter deck for an undead enemy, blah, 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 blah. Very, very interesting. You can clear this just by travelling to it and putting it on the table if you want to pull out 2 undead creatures. We haven't really seen the creatures yet, so I don't know how terrible that would be. But, I mean, that seems like a good compromise. Or at least just put out 1 creature, and then you've only have a 3 quest location, which is kind of average. Karen Stones. X threat 4 quest. X is equal to the number of rates in play, or whites in play. Okay. Travel. When you travel to Karen Stone, all characters in play have -1 attack until the end of the turn. That's a pretty devastating travel effect. And the Shadow gives plus weights, +1 attack. Now, a lot of these are only affecting this card. Well, this is a weight Lord. Maybe there's other weights. Let's have a look. Barrow Bats. Creature. Surge. And a Shadow effect. Apart from that, not too scary. 1, 2, 2. Not too bad. Shadow. Attach this card to a defending character. Counts as a condition. Attachment with the text, attached character has -1 defense. If undefended, attached to a random hero controlled by the defending player. Okay, so that is kind of annoying. I'm not quite sure what that means by random hero here. I mean, I think the designer is saying you choose a hero at random. You choose a hero. Like, it doesn't matter which one you choose, but technically speaking, what this means is that you need to flip your heroes over so you can't see them, give it a bit of a shuffle, and select one completely at random. That's a very interesting card. Shadow effect is a lot worse than its other effect. It does have Surge, and it does have a 15 threat. So, okay, Barrow Weight. Okay, so there are more than just the Rate Lords. There's these guys as well. He's undead. He's got a 3 threat, 3 attack, 2 defense, 4 hit points. He's no slouch. When revealed, if the active locations is a Barrow, Barrow weight gets +1 threat and +1 attack until the end of the turn. Forced. If the active location is not a barrow and there is a barrow location in the staging area, the player must immediately travel to a random barrow location. If there is already an active location, return it to the staging area. Okay, again, this is a bit of confusion on the word random here. The card reads that if there's, say, 3 staging areas and they're all barrows, 3 locations in the staging area and they're all barrows, you'll need to pick them up, shuffle them, and pick one at random. But he could just mean pick one of them. Now, the difference being is that if you've got tokens all over them, it's going to be very fiddly to take the tokens off and then shuffle them and then remember which ones had which tokens. So that could use a little bit better wording. I'm pretty sure he means random, as in actually random, but at the same time, just that shuffling of the tokens is a bit of a fiddly device and probably the worst thing I've seen in this pack so far. I thought there was more of these guys. This is the card that made me actually want to get this set. I just thought this was so cool. Fell Spirit. It's undead. It's got Doomed 1. It's got a 3 threat, 2 attack, and 2 defense. Forced. After the player's quest unsuccessfully, the first player attaches Fell Spirits to a hero he controls who is currently committed to the quest. Counts as a condition. Attachment with the text, for every 10 threat the player has, attached hero has -1 will, rounded down. After the player's quest successfully with a hero committed to the quest, return Fell Spirit to the staging area. So, I mean, again, this is like that other spirity kind of card. Just fantastic flavor. I just love the whole idea of these creatures being horrendously scary. You know, like these are horrible monsters rather than being, you know, enemies you fight. You actually are contesting them with your own will. Like your sanity is what is going up against these creatures. I just think that is freaking awesome. So yeah, so these guys, they turn up, they follow you in their ghostly ways, and they freak you out and lower your willpower. Okay, Ancient Tomb Wraith. Undead Wraith gets those effects that buff him up. He's got 1 threat, 2 attack, 4 defense. 4 defense is ginormous. I mean, seriously, that is ridiculously high. He's got a victory points. He's got no shadow, but 4 defense. I mean, you'd be lucky that most characters will not be able to even damage this guy. When revealed, draw the top 2 cards of each player's deck and place them face down in the staging area, guarded by Ancient Tomb Wraith. When Ancient Tomb Wraith is destroyed, these cards are revealed and returned to the top of their owner's decks in any order. So, basically he turns up, he steals 4 cards from you, you kill him, you get him back. I would have much preferred it if when you killed them they went directly into your hand, but alas, they go into the top of your deck. So not only is he stealing cards, he's then completely killing your drawers if those cards suck. So you don't want to draw that guy. And here we have a Burrow Spider. Forced. After the enemy engages with a player, remove 1 progress token from every location in play. Shadow. Remove 1 progress token from every location in play. Attacking enemy gets plus attack for every 2 progress tokens removed in this way, rounded up. Again, a pretty funky spider effect. Again, it is keeping homage to the original spider effects like Forest Spider that gets a buff only on engagement. Very cool card. Fog and Melancholy. When revealed, attach this card to the hero with the highest willpower. Count as a condition. Attachment with the text that reads, attached hero's willpower is reduced to 0. Now, that is probably one of the most hideous treachery cards I've ever seen, because a lot of people are designing decks now that are two-sided, as in you have a low threat questing deck and a highly aggressive ally fighting deck. So it's basically a control deck and an aggro deck that work together as if it's a single deck. So you actually have cards in your control deck that are designed to work only on your partner's cards and stuff like that. And one of the ways that these decks are designed to work is that you have high questing on one deck, and the other has no questing because it's doing all the attacking. This card will destroy that entire deck setup. You will have to run Eleanor. You will have to run cards that allow you to cancel shadow effects when revealed effects. I mean, this is absolutely vicious and basically destroys a very popular dual deck type that is making its rounds through the game at the moment. Shadow. Resolve the when revealed effect for this card, attaching it to the defending character. If undefended, attach it to the hero with the highest willpower. So even the shadow is deadly. I mean, that is just brutal. Brutal. Okay. The Wait's Song. When revealed, this is actually pulled out, I think, from the quest cards at some point. When revealed, the player with the highest threat attaches this card to one of his heroes. Counts as a condition. Attachment with the text, attached hero does not refresh during the refresh phase. This is a card that is not quite as scary as it seems. Of course it is scary, not being able to refresh, that is not good. But there are a number of ways to refresh cards without the refresh phase. You have Prince Imrahil, who can refresh when cards leave play. You have Unexpected Courage. You have the whatever hitch. It's some kind of hitch. It only works on hobbits, I believe, but it's still a way to ready characters. So there is a number of outs besides just cancelling the when revealed effect. Still, pretty scary. Awesome drawing. Bitter Cold. I love the art of Bitter Cold. I think that's fantastic. When revealed, increased the threat of all Barrow locations and all undead enemies in the staging area by 1 for the remainder of the round. Okay, so we've seen cards like this before in official sets. This one works upon both creatures and locations though, so it is immeasurably worse, as in bad for us. Shadow. If the attacking enemy is undead, attach this card to the enemy. While attached, the card gives the enemy +1 will and +1 attack. So again, it's one of these transferring attachment cards that is sort of like a theme in here in this deck, and I think it's very, very cool. So this can attach, you push him up to the staging area for any reason. He now has an extra threat, but he's also got an extra attack. I'm not sure which one of these effects I prefer. They both seem pretty bad, but I'm pretty sure that the when revealed is actually worse than the shadow effect. Okay, so that's this custom scenario. The Culling at Barrow-Downs. Now, if anyone's wondering, I printed on 300 microgram card, which is too thick. That's my solution from here. So don't print that thick. And I also think the print came out a little bit dark, so you might want to lighten up. Just raise the gamma or something on the card images. I use Gekoth's card printing template PDF. Okay, so that's really. Let's just see what I find. Oh, I forgot. Completely forgot. He also gave us 2 new heroes. Now, I will probably never use these heroes, to be honest. I might use them in this quest, but I don't think I'll ever use these heroes in the rest of the game. I think making your own quest decks and all that, making your own encounter decks, that's fine, but building your own player cards really affects the overall design of what Fantasy Flight's doing. So I printed these out just to have them, but I don't think I'm ever going to use them. But let's have a look at them anyway. Estor. Elf is an elf, And his action is exhaust Estor and pay 1 resource from his resource pool to choose and discard a condition from play. So that is actually a pretty cool effect, and one that I wouldn't be surprised to turn up. It's kind of like Eleanor's discard when revealed effect, except it's for conditions. There are not many other ways to discard conditions, except for, I think it's the Law deck that has that dwarf that can discard conditions. Interesting hero, very cool, but again, will I really play with a non-sanctioned player card? And lastly, last card, Anborn. He's a Gondola Ranger. Looks like an undead. Anyway, he's ranged. Action. Exhaust Andor to choose a location. Place 2 progress tokens on the chosen location. Well, that is a crazy powerful effect. I mean, so that's ridiculous. I'll never play with this guy. Let's just think. You exhaust this guy, and you place 2 progress tokens on a chosen location. So, what? You're running a bunch of unexpected courages? Say he's got like 2 unexpected courages on him, okay? That's 6 progress tokens he can put down in a single turn. Just completely clear the board before questing phase. It's absolutely broken. Sorry, that card is terribly designed. It needs something to stop unexpected courage from completely breaking it. It's bad enough when you're playing with Barrow and you have her drawing 12 cards a turn. That seems completely broken to me as well, but this is just another card that's going to have that same problem. The exhaust to do the action doesn't really matter when you've got ways to just untap him so easily. Okay, favourite art. This was actually quite tough because there's some awesome art in this pack. Some really, really fantastic, but I do believe that this is my favourite. I really do like landscapes, and it's a really, really nice shot. It's not overly complex, it's not as startling as some of the imagery in some of the other cards, but it's just very nicely framed and just looks fantastic. I just love that. So that's my favourite art. And favourite card is going to the Weight Lord. This whole concept, and there's actually another couple of cards that have similar effects. I think this guy, was it? No. It was like those ghostly attachments, I don't know, they're in here somewhere. Anyway, this whole concept of swapping the defense with willpower, because these creatures are horrific monsters. They're challenging their ability to function as people. You know, they're just so terrified they have to have willpower to fight through that to even function. It is just a fantastic thematic response to the undead. I just think it's brilliant. And yeah, so that's my favourite card by a long shot. Okay, so that is a custom scenario made by a dedicated fan. So once again, thanks so much to Feonix, who designed it and did made all the cards and all that kind of stuff. I will have to check up in the thread. I don't know whether if he actually drew all this as well, then I mean he's just a legend. I might get him to make my cards for the game that I'm designing. And also a big thank you to Gekoth, who is the guy who provided the really high quality card templates which allowed this to happen. So big thank you to those two people, and I am hanging to play this. I've got a mate coming over this weekend. We're going to be testing a couple of deck ideas we've got. We were planning to play Hills of Em and Wheel, but I tell you what, we're playing this now, I tell you. Okay, well, thanks guys, and I will see you next time.